My name is Joe Morganti. I'm a Senior Account Manager here at AlfaPeople. In this two-part Dynamics 365 webinar series, we will be displaying how it can help streamline business processes and optimize contact center operations, real solutions that can make a difference. Last week, we presented Dynamics 365 contact center benefits from a business decision maker perspective. The link is available in our chat. Today, we will be focusing on the technical decision maker perspective with more technical details. During the webinar, feel free to use the chat to ask your questions. Our team will be monitoring the chat and answering the questions there. And now, let's get started with Vanessa Palomo from Microsoft. Enjoy your session.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This is the Dynamics 365 Contact Center webinar hosted by Microsoft and AlfaPeople. Unlocking the power of Dynamics 365 Contact Center, streamlining without the complexity. My name is Vanessa Palomo. I am one of your hosts and presenters today. I am a BizApps technical specialist focusing on customer service and contact center with Microsoft. I'm joined by two wonderful co-presenters, Felipe Melo de Souza, Senior Solution Architect from AlfaPeople, as well as Flavio da Silva, Country Manager from AlfaPeople. Here's a quick overview of our agenda today. First, our introduction, why Microsoft for the contact center. We'll move into what exactly the Microsoft D365 Contact Center is, contact center pain points. We'll actually have a live demonstration of our D365 Contact Center in action. We'll go through the behind the scenes and then how to get started. Now, obviously, Microsoft is a well-known name, either from your usage of productivity tools such as Excel, PowerPoint, and Word, or even through unified communications with Teams. But Microsoft is also the trusted leader in business applications and low-code solutions. Did you know that 70% of those customers are in Fortune 500 companies? Over 500,000 customers are using business application products right now. And up to date, we also have over 40,000 customers that have already been using Copilot capabilities, generative AI in Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. We are bringing over 30 years of experience and history providing CRM and ERP solutions to our customers. Now, Dynamics 365 is the only business platform that natively integrates with M365, Microsoft Azure, Azure Cloud Services, and Microsoft Power Platform. It's a hub for work, productivity, and collaboration that opens the door to innovation every day. Our solution provides a full tech stack to support both tech adoption and tech capability building, and ultimately increasing your chance as an organization to actually succeed in the marketplace by providing unparalleled integrations, architectural coherence, and openness and extensibility. All of our products are built on top of Azure and with a common data model, so we allow for a lot of flexibility, interoperability, and the Dynamics customer service and contact center workload is built on this technology stack that continuously brings forth results for all of our customers involved. As we see within the realm of the contact center and customer service, service excellence is not just nice to have. It's an essential pillar of business success and with a profound impact on customers and your bottom line. But there has been a clear gap between what is possible and what is typical. I'd like you guys to all think back. When was the last time that you contacted your bank, your phone company, even your favorite retailer? What was that experience like? How do you wish it was different? For many consumers and customers, unfortunately, the customer experience is broken, that service experience. And customers prefer to having access to self-service when they're able, but instead encounter primitive chatbots that can't answer their questions or a maze of automated menus on phones. They want flexibility to reach out in the channel that's most convenient to them, but they get a different experience every time or feel like they are starting over every time the phone clicks. And sometimes when they're finally bypassed, all the menus to finally speak to a human, they're stuck either on hold, transferred multiple times, or forced to repeat their issues and questions again. These service gaps are not just inconveniences. They are costly missteps. And with self-service deflection rates lingering below 45%, businesses miss the opportunity to efficiently resolve issues, leading to an over-reliance on human agents. But even there, the strains show as agent attrition soars higher than 45%, revealing a deeper discontentment within the service ecosystem. The global financial toll is staggering. Poor service tends to cost companies an estimated 3.7 trillion per year, a testament to the profound impact of service quality and the bottom line. Now, depending on the service they receive, customers can either become lifelong shoppers or they will leave your business for good. It is the companies that have become truly customer obsessed that have seen 80% more market share growth, 60% increase in customer retention, 70% profit growth, and 60% growth in revenue. It is those companies that are truly changing their business processes to be customer centric and centric on the customer experience moving forward that are seeing the benefits. But today, customer service is not built to satisfy the customer. And how does this affect your business? Disconnected experiences and inability to get support on customers' terms are leading to decreased engagement and brand loyalty. Manual tools and systems are leading to reduced productivity and low fix rates and very long case resolution times. And then limited insights and reactive decision making and multi-vendor system complexities are leading to high operational cost. So why choose Microsoft for your contact center? The first, it's a step towards vendor consolidation. And the idea of less complexity in the contact center, more simplicity, allows you to try to get to the point where you can get all of this from one vendor. And right now, Microsoft is the only vendor that can do all of this. Second, we are infusing Copilot from end to end. So this isn't saying that you need to go buy another generative AI element. This is saying that you get Copilot for your agents with the cost of our contact center licenses. And third, but certainly not least, we are built for reliability and scalability, as we are built natively on the Azure cloud to meet you and your organization at any phase that you currently are and to help you continuously grow. And here are some of our customers that are just as excited about the Dynamics 365 Contact Center as us. They are either in the middle of deployments or have already deployed the Dynamics Contact Center. We do have a number of customer stories that we are able to share with you guys. So if you would like that, please let us know at the end of the webinar. With that, I will be passing the baton to my AlfaPeople counterparts to continue our presentation.
Thank you, Vanessa. Hi, everyone. My name is Flavio Silva. I'm a country manager with AlfaPeople, and it's my pleasure to be here today with you to discuss Dynamics 365 Contact Center. Before going to the main subject, I would like to use this slide to present very quickly the most important aspects of our company. AlfaPeople is a global company with a presence in 14 countries. We are 100% focused on Microsoft Business Solutions. Every year, as you may know, Microsoft selects the most strategic partners across the globe to be part of the Microsoft Inner Circle group. And AlfaPeople is part of this group for 15 years now. AlfaPeople has been implementing Microsoft ERP, CRM, and Power Platform for more than 20 years. And as you can see here, every month we deliver more than 70,000 hours in services. And in terms of contact centers, we have experience with small, medium, and large contact centers. And we have special offers and packages to address contact center customer services needs and implementations. Before going to Dynamics 365 Contact Center, let's take a look in this typical contact center infrastructure components that we understand that create some friction. Analyzing the typical contact center infrastructure, we can see that between the customer and the agent, we have some components that can create some friction in this relationship. Depending on the channel chosen by the customer, their experience with our contact centers can be completely disconnected from the holistic process. Channels, self-service tools, and routing rules can make the customer and the agent lives very complicated because they are not integrated. Something started in one channel may not be seen in the other channels. And the customer experience can be completely different depending on the combination of channels, self-services, and routing capabilities. On top of that, siloed data and fragmented systems bring additional challenges for agents to serve the customers and for supervisors and leaders to manage their teams with reports and dashboards. With that said, we can go now and check a little bit more. What are the main components for a traditional call center? Because understanding those components, we will see the benefits of going to Dynamics 365 Contact Center. When I think about the traditional contact center, the first component we see here is the carrier, right? We need a phone number, and the carrier is the one providing this phone number. Once I have the phone number, I need a PBX to manage our inbound and outbound calls and to route internal communications and manage this specific part of the voice communication. We can have IVR to automate some level of screening or triage, right? We can program some ways for the system to do that. After that, we need an ACD to route calls according to some criteria. Depending on the customer selection, we can send this call to a specific or transfer this call to specific groups or specific person. Once this person receives the call, we need CTI, computer telephony integration, to integrate your telephony system to your CRM or customer service system. So you also need a CRM to actually put in place a contact center system. And we are talking a lot about the voice channel, but the point is today, the customer has many options to contact us. And maybe they prefer using SMS, sending an email, entering our portal, chatbots, whatever. And today we need to have the omni-channel part of the communication with the customer inside our contact center. And we need a component specifically for that. The workforce manages the other component we need to optimize staff scheduling and resource allocations. So especially for our team, talking directly with the customer. When you go to the supervisors or managers, for sure, these two capabilities are important for them, are crucial for them. So they have to have the call recording capability in place to make sure they can monitor what's going on. And in some cases, depending on the regulations, it's completely mandatory for us. And the quality monitoring. So to make sure our supervisors and managers can go into the call and understand what's going on and check the quality of that communication with the customer. For sure, once you have the customer talking to our agents or maybe being in contact with our self-service components, we need the knowledge base. So information about our products, our procedures, they have to be available for agents in the systems to provide the best service to the customer. And for sure, system integrations. So as you mentioned in the slide before, siloed information, multiple systems, they are not good for the customer services. So usually contact centers, they need a lot of integrations with existing systems to make sure the agents, they have the correct information available to provide the proper customer services. And at the very end, everything is running. Now our managers and supervisors, they want to check what's going on. Analytics, reporting, dashboards about our business. As you can see here, the traditional call center requires many different components and sometimes many different providers. And when you think about the quality of the customer services, this complexity actually can affect negatively this process, this whole process. Now answering the question, what is Dynamics 365 Contact Center? Long story short, is the simplification of the previous slide into a very comprehensive and easy to use system. So basically, it's the Microsoft Contact Center solution that boosts the customer experience. Why? First, because it's an end-to-end solution. This means that if we start with a phone number and you need a carrier, Microsoft can be your carrier. From the phone number, you need, for example, multiple channels. Microsoft can provide multiple channels. All the channels you need. After that, you need an IVR with chatbot intelligent assistance. Microsoft will provide that for you. So using Copilot, using intelligence, AI, to bring conversational IVRs, no matter the channel, if it's voice, if it's text, email, so you can use bots for that. Unified routing, so it's no longer only about the customer selected. Now we are talking about unified routing, considering the conversation, the intent, the sentiment analysis. So everything actually is considered before we route it to an agent. When you go to the agent now is using a Microsoft solution, integrating multiple systems, bringing the conversations I had with the customer before, the historical information. Everything is there, and using AI to simplify your conversation with the customer. And at the very end, bringing the strategic dashboards and reports. So the difference here is everything end-to-end is inside Microsoft Cloud. So instead of dealing with multiple systems, multiple components, multiple providers, you can have everything in one single provider, which is Microsoft. The second element important here is because it's a Copilot first. If you're familiar with Copilot, you know that Copilot is like ChatGPT in the context of your company. And if you already played with a ChatGPT, I'm sure you did, you can actually bring these capabilities to help your agents. So if you're talking to the customer and the customer is asking questions about the product, the procedures, about his or her records, ChatGPT, in this case, Copilot, can help me bring this, summarizing the conversations and summarizing the historical communication. If the customer is asking information about other elements, again, Copilot is helping me to understand the whole story of this customer and what he's asking for. And on top of that, if the customer is not actually talking to an agent, but is talking to our conversational IVR, most of this knowledge is available. And we have a conversational bot actually bringing the answers to their questions. So you see this conversational IVR working in a few minutes. And the third element here, it's because it's cloud-based. So, which means that you don't have to buy servers, so you don't have to buy infrastructure or in on-prem elements. So you go to the Microsoft Cloud, is everything there. So if you need that specific component, you can enable that component, start using that, and after that you can go for your next level. So, and this is a very important element because you guys are about to see the IVR, the conversational IVR demo, and maybe part of you can say, oh, it's too much for me. I don't think I'm that level yet. Sometimes it may be too futuristic or far from my reality. I think one important thing that you guys should consider is the adoption levels and the scalability diagram I'm presenting here. Because again, you're about to see something that seems futuristic, but it's something that is happening right now. And you can be there. Maybe you're not going to be there in 2 months, 1 year, but maybe in 3. So if you start with the correct technology, which is Microsoft, you can start with this basic contact center capability level 1, but you know that your platform can actually sustain the growth, can sustain the scalability. So you start with the number 1, and in a few months you are the number 2. Now we have customer record integration, more channels, and suddenly you're the number 3, and you can actually move on and go to the highest level of automation using Microsoft 365 Contact Center. The important point here is you can start small and grow fast since you select the correct platform. And Microsoft is that technology because you can start small, and once you are actually enabling more and more components, you are growing very quickly in an agile way. So now you are about to go to the conversational IVR case. And this is a case that we created for you. We are bringing Contoso Industrial Products. So this company is global provider of industrial equipment and materials. They face some difficulties related to the customer experience, and they identify the opportunity to improve their service quality using Microsoft D365 Contact Center. Okay, let's understand the technical decision maker pain points related to this kind of project. As mentioned before, the typical contact center architecture can be very complex, and this is the main technical pain point. Multiple components, multiple solutions, multiple providers, internal hardware, servers, physical components. Manage all of these can be very complicated and usually brings integration issues. Maintenance costs is also a concern, and the simplification of the architecture is the important factor to reduce the total cost of ownership. And the technical decision makers are looking for tools to provide the best capabilities to the business teams, but also understands that to build a solid foundation and grow the operations consistently, they need a reliable and robust platform. Okay, before going to the conversational IVR demo, it's important to understand that we are bringing this as a voice interaction, but it can be in any of the channels, right? But because it's a conversational IVR, I think it's easier for us to understand how the customer will interact with our self-serve system, right? In this case, you see that we have at least 3 levels of assistance. So we have the self-service, we have the self-service, the customer actually getting information with our bots and solving procedures, asking information by him or herself. We have the second level, which is the assisted services. Now we need a person to help with specific types of requests. And sometimes we need the offline services, which is when we need other departments, for example, to help with approvals or other procedures, we need them to check and to get back to the customer. When you go to this level, you see that Carlos, our customer, is calling Contoso to ask a couple of questions and trigger some procedures. We start with the knowledge base. So Carlos will ask information about products, about procedures. So they are actually general questions not related to his specific record, but information that we organize in our database. It could be our website with a lot of pieces of information there. It can be a repository with a lot of PDFs, and the system can help with that, the self-service part. The second group here is the customer records. So Carlos will ask questions about his records, right? In this case, orders. It could be payments. It could be address. It could be many other elements related to his records inside the company. The third level is where Carlos will trigger some procedures. In this case, he will change his order, but it could be update my address, update my phone number, or something different. The fourth example is when Carlos said, okay, but now I need to talk to your agent because I want to discuss my project. And now we are going to transfer that call to an agent, and they start the conversation there. And the fifth level is, okay, this case I need a signature from my legal department. I will trigger this internal process. It can take 2 days. Now we go to the offline services. Okay, with that said, I think now we are ready to go to the conversational IVR demo. Let's get started.
Hello. Thank you for calling Contoso. It's very good to have you here. Please tell me, why are you calling today?
Our company just bought a new XT500. Could you clarify what tools are needed to assemble it?
For assembling the XT500, you will need a 3/16 wrench, pliers, and a 5mm screwdriver. Is there anything else that I can help you with?
Could you confirm if XT500 supports up to 20 units?
The XT500 supports up to 10 units, not 20 units. This is the answer that you needed?
I see. Do you know if the XT700 supports up to 20 units?
Yes, the XT700 supports up to 20 units. This is the answer that you needed?
Okay, I think I need to change my order from XT500 to XT700. Is there still time for it?
Yes, this is still possible, because your order have not been sent yet. Just to confirm, would you like to make changes in your XT500 order with a tracking number ending in 4566?
Yes.
I will need you to confirm your identity by entering your 4-digit company PIN. Please, can you tell me your company PIN?
2008.
This is not the right PIN. Let us try again. Please, can you tell me your company PIN?
Oh, sorry. 2009.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Just to confirm, would you like to change your order tracking number ending in 4566 and replace the XT500 with the XT700?
That is correct.
The order amount will change from $9,500 to $12,500. Do you confirm the change?
Yes.
The change has been completed. You will receive your order in 5 business days. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yes, I would like to discuss a new project we will implement in our company. Could I talk to one of your experts?
Sure. To ensure I will transfer to the correct expert, could you explain what kind of project you would like to discuss?
Absolutely. We plan to replace 5 XT500 in our company.
Okay. I am transferring you to one of our experts.
Hi, I am Felipe from the Contoso project team. How can I help you today?
Okay, now that you saw the conversational IVR in action, let's check its impact in the technical decision maker pain points discussed before. If you remember, the complexity was the great concern. What Microsoft is providing now is simplification. Instead of multiple components from different providers, now you can have everything end-to-end in the Microsoft Cloud. Instead of a combination of on-prem local servers and cloud components, Microsoft provides the whole contact center process in one single cloud. And in terms of capabilities and completeness, the technical decision makers are also happy because business and technical teams are well served by Microsoft Dynamics 365 contact center features. And to talk a little bit more about these features, I invite Felipe Melo to present the overview of Dynamics 365 contact center architecture and the technical details of each component. Felipe, the floor is yours.
So hello, everybody, and thank you, Flavio, for this brilliant presentation. My name is Felipe. I work here in AlfaPeople as a senior solution architect, and today we are going to unbox Contact Center and all these features, that brilliant features that Microsoft have brought to us on this past year. So this is a very exciting application, and we are going to check piece by piece what we have inside it. And to start to talk about the contact center solution, we need to talk about Copilot. Copilot, it's an OpenAI based solution, and we have all the agents, the human agents, the customers, the leaders of the operations, and they are all connected in Copilot. Copilot is reading and writing into all of these pieces, and it's a narrative AI powered by Microsoft inside your contact center. So we have three key elements of customer services interconnected, interrelated, as you can see in this screen. So first, Copilot, with this kind of feedback loop that you see in the screen, capture digital signs across all of these elements. So all across the voice, the messaging, and everything. And then pass this to the data source that run in your contact center. And second, Copilot becomes the unifying force for connecting and synthesizing all of these data and making it available instantly in context. And third, Copilot takes action through recommendation, automation, and insights that can be used to drive more efficient service. So again, the Dynamics 365 Contact Center, it's a Copilot-based contact center. Now you have a Copilot for every human agent, for every supervisor, and even for your customers. And from now on, we will see how to implement the contact center solutions. We have two ways to implement it. The first one is the contact center as a service. And when we are talking about contact center as a service, imagine that you have Microsoft with all your tools from end to end. Microsoft can give you every solution that you need from end to end in your contact center, from the channel that the customer is using to access your contact center until the BI, the dashboard that you need for your supervisor and manager. All the solutions are here, and we will see how every piece of this is structured in just a moment. And the other type of implementation that we have for Dynamics 365 Contact Center is bring your own CRM. So Contact Center can be embedded in your own CRM. And we will also see how these can correlate with other Microsoft solutions in some of the slides that will be presented today. And for start, now unboxing our Contact Center, we will talk about the Contact Center as a service solution. And first, we'll talk about the channels that the customers have to access your knowledge base and inside your company. So let's start talking about the customers. Now we can have a modern contact center where the customer can choose whatever channel he or she wants to access your company, to contact your company. So we have here the live chat capability where you can put this live chat in your website, for example. We also have other tools that can be connected to Copilot. For example, in the social media, we can connect Copilot in the email, SMS, in the voice with an IVR, with IoT, and even in Microsoft Teams. So everything starts with the customer choosing the right channel. And with Microsoft Contact Center, you can use, you can deploy for your customer whatever channel he wants. Then after this, he will be received by an intelligent assistant, a chatbot that have access to all your bases and also access to your previous calls, and then to the customer previous calls. And he can answer everything that is needed for the customer. And even if at some point this chatbot can't help the customer anymore, then the chatbot can route this to the right agent based on some skills that the specific agent have. And at last, of course, the supervisor of this contact center can have access to all these calls to check how their agents are doing, right? And as you can see here in the bottom of the slide, we also have generative AI looking through all of it. Then we are not talking about that bot that we just do a question and it answers, or that bot when you need to type 1 or 2 to go to a specific route or direction. We are talking about generative AI. So the AI can produce data and produce voice as this AI understands what the customer needs. And as you can see here in this slide, we have some interesting highlights about the voice capabilities of contact center. The Microsoft Teams is embedded in the contact center. So we have this web version of Teams where the agents can access the customer interactions and also the customer call or even the customer messages. And this is very useful even when we are consulting and transfer the calls, because for new agents, they can easily coming up to speed in your contact center. They can consult with supervisors during a call and provide accurate responses, and also increase first call resolution. That's the main idea for this voice solution of Microsoft. It's an IVR. The customer can call if the bot does not feels or does not goes as expected with the customer. The bot can transfer and then route for a specific agent, and the agent will have access to every part, or every transcript of the call, every part of the call, and can help to answer the customer better. Now, let's get into the Dynamics 365 contact center environment to check what we have and how can we configure the channels. As you can see here, I have multiple apps, but the two main apps that are concerned to the Dynamics 365 contact center is this, the Contact Center Admin Center and the Contact Center Workspace. Mainly, the Contact Center Workspace will be used for agents and supervisors to manage the calls that are going in the contact center. And here in the Contact Center Admin Center is where the administrator can go and configure the channels, the routes, everything. But let's talk first about the channel. So I will go in the Contact Center Admin Center, clicking on it. This is my home page, my welcome page. And on the left pane, I have all the configuration needed for my contact center. Here, one of these configuration is the channels. When I click on it, I can see the channels and I can decide what channel it's enabled for my customers and what channels are not. If I want to configure, for example, the voice channel, I can just click on Manage, and then I can click in the workstream related to it. Now here, I can see everything, and I also can connect to other numbers, but I can see everything from my contact center voice channel. On the first pane here, what I have is the number that my voice is related to, and it's here also there where I can connect new voice channels if I want. Also, if I want to edit this existing voice channel, I can just click here, I can rename it, I can also add new language to a specific voice channel, and I can configure some interesting behaviors. For example, is here I can configure the customer wait time. Also, if I want to allow agents to pause and resume, here I can configure if the external phone numbers can be used to transfer. So Here's where I can configure these kind of details. And my phone number, as an example that I'm using here, is this one in the United States. Okay, here for my voice channel in the second pane, I have my routing rules. The routing rules is enabled for me, and I can also define a fallback queue for it. And in the right bottom, I have my work distribution configurations and also my bot configurations. Here on my bot configurations is where I can connect my Copilot to my specific voice channel. And also, if I am talking about the other channels like messaging, it's here that I also can configure it. In this next part that we are going to see, it's about the Azure Communication Services and how this correlates to the contact center. The Azure Communication Services is the piece of this implementation where we will decide if Microsoft will be our voice carrier or if we are going to bring our own carrier to the contact center. So imagine that we have our contact center solution, and then we have Azure Communication Services. If we have our own carrier already, we can just connect our carrier with Azure Communication Services, and then we will be able to use Contact Center as our solution. But if we want to just have the Contact Center as a service, we want Microsoft to be our carrier, we can also have that. So it's just a matter of configure our Azure Communication Services that is already connected with Contact Center, and everything else from then on, every Copilot and generative AI capabilities will be present there. Now, how we can connect Azure ACS into our Dynamics 365 Contact Center? It's important to understand that we have a low-code solution to just connect the Contact Center to our Azure ACS. But the Azure ACS, if you have your own carrier, it's already to be configured for you to go through these steps. But if I want to add a new carrier here, I can just go and add a new phone number here. If I do this, I will be redirected to create my channel details and also to connect to my Azure ACS. Just for us to understand how this happens, well, we have two options. The first option is just have our Azure ACS here connected, and then the Azure ACS with Contact Center will route our calls to whatever person it needs to be routed. But if I want to have my own carrier, so I have my own SDC, I can also connect with Azure ACS using Azure Direct Routing to make things happening and be, as in this example, Matthias here have his contact center workspace on his screen, receiving the calls and also managing everything. The next part of our implementation involves Microsoft Dataverse and also Microsoft Azure Cloud, how this correlates to everything. Well, when we are talking Microsoft Dataverse, we are talking about a very scalable database, but also not just a database. More than that, we have on Dataverse a layer of security, another of logic, another of data, another of storage, and also another of integration. And this powerful database also is the house of Contact Center. Everything happens inside the Microsoft Dataverse. And Microsoft Dataverse, it's a local database. In the heart, it's an SQL database, but also with low-code capabilities that provides much more than just a database. That's why Microsoft Dataverse, it's so fantastic, and it's the perfect database for a contact center. And when we are talking about Azure AI services, we have some main key points here. For example, we have pre-built AI with services like Azure Cognitive Services that can be connected with the contact center. We have conversational AI using Azure Bot Framework that will help us to also leverage the capabilities to make our conversational even more fluid. And we have custom AI with Azure Machine Learning that can power your knowledge bases and also can power your process on the contact center. And all the features in Azure can be connected to Azure OpenAI also already connected with all these other services, and be easily provided with this kind of features, more and more conversational capabilities without the need of just typing something or saying a specific word. Here we are talking about empowers our IVR to be generative in all kind of answers. The next piece that we are going to analyze is the Copilot Studio. So how to create our chatbots and even our voice bots. The IVR is the solution from Microsoft to alter our chatbot. So even that we use a topic structure with the contact center and Copilot capabilities, we are able to ask for the IVR to give generative answers. So we can configure these topics in a way that it can go not only from the topic 1 to topic 2, but if at some point of the conversation, the contact center IVR understands that it needs to follow up to the topic 5 and go back to the topic 2, it can already be done. Or also, if the IVR says that this is just a consult to the knowledge base and then an answer based on generative answers, it can also be done in this fantastic IVR. And here is what we have in the box. So when we are talking about contact center IVR from Microsoft, these three pieces are what compose it. First, Dynamics 365 Contact Center, so the application itself. Then Copilot Studio, the way to alter our bot. And then Power Automate, where we can increase our processes using Power Automate. This is what our conversational IVR means in terms of the Microsoft conversational IVR with generative answers. Here in this slide, you can see what are the capabilities also not only for voice, but also for chatbot. Everything that you do for the chatbot, for the voice chatbot, can also be done for messaging. You can see in the left the channels that we can deploy, where we can deploy the chatbot. For example, Facebook, WhatsApp, even Apple messaging. And then the bot can answer by voice or can even answer by chat. This is your configuration, your decision to make when you are altering your chatbot. And what about Copilot IVR? Is there anything different from the old Copilot Studio? Yes, we have some new interesting configuration here and very exciting too. Maybe if you are familiar with our virtual agents and the configuration of topics, the altering of topics, you will not have any harm when creating this Copilot IVR. As you can see here, what I have different from the past one is that now I can connect knowledge to my Copilot IVR. And also I can give a prompt to it. For example, for this bot, I just said, our company name is Contoso, be very warm in your engagements. And with only this instruction, Copilot already knows how to treat the customer. Okay, here on topics, I can go, and as you can see, I have multiple topics connected to my Copilot Studio. And I don't need to create an engagement topic by topic. I can go, for example, in this configuration that I have made for the XT500 units. And what I said is I just configured some questions important here that will trigger. Remember, this phrase is the customer does not need to say word by word that is here, but it's just an idea that I'm passing here. And if the customer tells anything different, but the Copilot understands the intent of the customer, it will always fall in the same topic. And in this example, I have just connected to a specific data source here. And on these data source, it is possible to Copilot to read it through it and answer the question that I have made. And it's interesting that I have also added questions here that are from different answers that needs different answers, but the trigger is configured with multiple questions to check in this specific data source. So this is also possible. The next piece that we are going to see is about the routing itself. How can the bot knows how he is route this specific call? And it's important here to understand that the bot will be hearing the informations about the customer and will be hearing what the customer is saying. And based on the conversation, he can decide for where he wants to route, for what queue he wants to route that specific call. Here you can see a customer that can, for example, open a chat, an SMS, or even a Teams call. And then this customer have been received for the intelligent conversational bots. Then, if the bot cannot answer what the customer needs, or if at some point of the conversation it becomes too complex for him to understand, he can route to the right person with accuracy. For example, here we have the route based on skills. With a high precision, the IVR can understand what skills are needed to answer that specific question. So based on parameters, we can configure these agent skills and tell the chatbot in which moment the chatbot needs to route for that specific agent. And then when the chatbot identifies the right skills, and after we have configured the right skills for that specific skills, the chatbot can easily route. In this part of the screen, now we are seeing the Contact Center Admin Center app, where we can configure these skills. In the screen, you can see some options. For example, manage the users, the skills of the users, create new skills in the skill hub. So everything for this configuration is possible. And when we are configuring the routing, it's also possible to configure the skills routing or even the unified routing for the specific user. So it is possible to configure two kinds of routing, and they can live in parallel as well. And how we can configure route rules. Again, I am here in the Contact Center Admin Center. Everything that I need to configure on my channels, I will just go to channels, look to the channels that I have, and select the right one. This example, let's configure the routing rules for the voice channel. I'll click here to manage my workstream. And while I am managing my workstream, as you can see, I have this middle pane here called routing rules, where I have my routing rules set it up. And I want to edit this here, this project thing. I will click on it. As you can see, I don't have anything, any rule created, but let's create a first rule. Then I will say that this rule is called skill cloud architect. Then I'll add some conditions here. First, I will add this rule. Then I will go to skills and then I will select cloud architect. Now I'll just say as an output that the case must have an attribute that have been changed. The attribute is the owning team. The owning team will be the project team. Add. And here I'm going to create this routing rule, and now every time that my bot understands that this conversation that it is having with the customer needs someone else to take care of it. For example, it needs to discuss a project. And then it will understand, because I have configured in my Copilot, it will understand that it needs a cloud architect, someone with this skill. So it's going to look into my database and check what users have this skill of cloud architect. And then it will configure the case to be owned by this team that I have selected here. That is the team that takes care of projects. And about the agent experience, so okay, we understood that the customer have channels, but how the agents can collaborate in the contact center solution. Here you can see an example of how an agent can start answering a call. So the agent at this moment that you are looking at this screen is just waiting for a call to be routed. He have in the left pane, of course, he have the work items that he needs to work on. But let's check now how he can easily answer a call. So in the top right, you're going to see that a call will start to ring. At that moment, the agent can accept or reject this call. When he accepts, the contact center immediately transfers him to the right page of this call, where the user can already see in the left pane the transcript of the conversation, everything that had been talked, and so the agent can understand the customer problems already looking through the conversation. So you start the conversation from that point on, right? And even when the agent starts to communicate with the customer, as Copilot is hearing and reading from this entire part, it starts to write the conversational summary and even the timeline highlights for that specific problem if they are, for example, in a case, working in a case together. And if the agent needs to send an email, Copilot can help the agents with the email assist to write the email as just the customer needs. And this is look and feel of the contact center as a service. But imagine that you have no interest in have this as a contact center as a services if you want to have your own CRM, your own application. Well, here we have an example of how the contact center application from Microsoft can be embedded in another CRM. You can already see that the same things that we got in the contact center as a service, we also have here. So if you already have your CRM, you can also have the same sentiment analysis, conversational summary. If you close the screen, you also see the timeline highlights, everything that's embedded in your own CRM if you need it. The next key point of our implementation is the Power Platform solution. The Power Platform is a suite of apps from Microsoft, and some of them you already know very well, like Power BI and Power Apps and Power Automate. Power Pages is something that is also very nice from Microsoft if you want, for example, to build a web page, a portal of self-service for your customers, for vendors, and all the Power Platform can be leveraged with the contact center solution because you're already in the Power Platform. As part of the Power Platform is the Dataverse. You already have some credits for user AI Builder too, and even data connectors to connect to other data that you already have, even on-premise data, for example, on-premise SQLs. And the last piece that we are going to see is the Contact Center Supervisor Manager Dashboard. Well, we understand that the supervisor wants to see whatever have happened from the moment that the customer starts talking or writing in the channel, even a voice channel or in a message channel, from the moment the agent have answered that specific question, or if a specific agent is not answering the question for the customer, they are just routing or assigning the cases for someone else. So here the supervisor can understand from point to point, for end to end, what is happening in his contact center. No matter which leg of the journey a customer is, no matter which channel they reach you, we have the analytics to help you. In this screen, you can see how you can check what are the skills of your agents to solve specific problems. In the screen, you can see that we have a case, we are working on a case, and I need to assign this conversation for a specific user that have a specific skill. When the supervisor can easily find this user and route a specific case to him with the agent finder and also with the easily assign to agents. And not only assign features, right? What every supervisor manager wants is analytics. And we have a dashboard already ready when you start to use Contact Center. And this dashboard will be populated with all the interesting information. It also have auto refresh and pause updates already connected. It have interactive drill downs, but you can see what are the execution calls. You can see the execution calls, the time from the execution calls. You can see also if you have any unassigned work items, what is the most queue time for a specific queue. So you can leverage all your contact center. You can check the data from all your contact center. And it's not only that. This is what we have. We have much information here, but if you want a piece of information that is not present here, this can be easily extended with Power BI or even with native reports presented in the contact center. To configure the user skills, I can go in the user management section, and then I have the skill hub. I'll click here to manage the skill hub. As you can see, I have my skills. I can add new skills, but I can add existing users to that skills also. For example, let's click on Cloud Architect. As you can see, it opened a right pane for me where I can add new users. I'll click to add new users, and I will select Felipe as a Cloud Architect, and then add selected users, and then save it. So this is it. We have been passed through all the steps of the implementation of the contact center as a services. Now we understand what we have in all the pieces. We have unboxed it all. And the idea now is to proceed with how to start. If I want the Dynamics 365 contact center, how can I start working with it? And for that part on, I will invite Flavio to continue our talk.
Thank you, Philip. That was a great explanation of the components provided by the 365 Contact Center. Now that we are approaching the end of our presentation, it's time to talk about how to start. The good news is because it's a modular solution and 100% cloud, your company can prioritize it as needed. So you can identify where you are and identify what you need and select the correct components. The other good news is AlfaPeople has many templates to start your contact center project. So instead of going there and have to learn things alone and to decide about the components, you can count on our experience to help you in the construction of your roadmap, prioritizing elements and define what's first step, second step, and so on. So you can use the QR code on the screen to share with us more details about your case, and we'll be more than happy to lead a discovery session and discuss the best approach for your case. Now we came to the end of our webinar. Our team will keep answering your questions on the chat. And on behalf of Microsoft and AlfaPeople, I would like to thank you all for your time today and say that it was a pleasure to share this content with you. I hope it can help you with your technical and business decisions. And we look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.